Today I want to show you a simple camera setup technique that will save you all kinds of trouble and time the next time you're out shooting. I'd like you to remember this simple phrase, la fast. That's pronounced la fast. It stands for L-F-A-S-T. Now, many people when they start out shooting, you've probably seen, you've maybe done it yourself, you've got a shot and then you decide to do a pan, and by the time you finish your pan, your camera's all quite crooked. That's because you haven't set the tripod correctly and leveled it to begin with. So let's take a look at what this phrase la fast really stands for. La fast stands for L, which is level your camera. You can't do anything until you're properly leveled, especially if you're going to do some kind of panning. F stands for focus. You have to focus the camera before you start shooting. A stands for set your aperture. You want to have the correct exposure. S, set the shutter. This is also a factor that will help you in your exposure. And T, set the time code. This is simply the birth date of every frame of video that you're going to shoot. Okay, let's take a look at this in practice. Start by getting your level bubble in the middle of the circle. You do this by raising or lowering either of the three camera tripod legs. Make sure you have your subject in focus. If your zoom lens is all the way wide, this won't be much of a problem, but if you're in tight on something, your focus is much more critical. Make sure your shutter is set at 1/60th, unless you're trying for some special effect. Remember, as your shutter changes upwards from 1/60th, you're losing light coming through the lens. If you're going to be shooting several tapes, it's a good idea to start each tape with a different number on your time code. So you would start tape number 1, setting your time code at 01. Tape number 2 would be 02, and so on. For those of you who are not familiar with time code, it's simply a reference for each frame having a birth date of hour, minute, and second, and frame. I hope these tips on camera setup have been helpful to you. My name is Barry Casson, and I'll see you next time.